Good evening. Good evening. We are live. Am I coming in okay for you guys? So we've got quite a few people in the chat. There's Brother Jeff and Brother Keith. There's Regneris. Hello from Indiana. I need my glasses. Can you guys hear me? Can't see how to lose. Let's see. Hey, Sharon. And Brother Dave from Ireland. You made it. How am I sounding? Can you guys hear me on the microphone? There's Deborah. Deborah Irvin. Good deal. Good deal. We are on. I wasn't quite ready, but that's all right. I'm going to pull something up right quick before, so that I have it. All right, there we are, right there. All right. Good deal. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. All right. We got about 13 in the chat right now. They'll be showing up. I had a plan to have a guy come on to tell us his encounters. He's one of our own, and I got permission to say who he is. You guys remember Brother Kyle Maynard. His mother, Miss Carol, is the one that we had put all the prayers out. Wonderful people. The Maynard family is just supernaturally blessed, the entire family. Kyle has had several encounters with the big fellas, and he was actually going to come on tonight and discuss it, and he's had a family emergency, and so he had to travel out west to take care of that in order to try to be back home for his family for the Christmas holidays. Moonrider, good to see you. They're sharing. But anyhow, next week we're going to try to pull it off before New Year's Eve. We're going to have Kyle come on. He's going to share his encounters, the ones that he's had. Very up close and personal. One of them, I think it's one of them that had charged him, but it almost got bad. He was almost one of David Plighty's missing 411. Thought I had that email written out already, but I don't. I have to pull it up on the phone for you guys. B. Lynn, you made it. Good deal. Laura, it's good to see you guys. There's my sister Martha. Good deal. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I know it's spur of the moment. We had a rough time last night. I was coming on live last night, and I have a guest planned. He will be coming. I don't know if he's going to pop in tonight. He's got a lot going on. We're several hours apart, time zone wise. And so his schedule, the time that we do our shows here is kind of in the late part of the day for him. A Bigfoot Mama, you made it. And there's Terry, Nana Anna, and Susan. Yeah, we got the crew here. Absolutely. So good to see everyone. But we may have him pop in tonight. I've got a very good friend. He's a brother to us and to the channel. And he's got a lot of encounters that people have shared with him. And if he gets time, he's got a lot going on, and he just hurt his back again. And so I'm just working with him. Whenever he's ready, we're always open and ready for him. He's got some encounter stories that he wants to come on here and share with us. And hopefully he'll have time tonight to stop in for a few minutes. But if not, we'll get him on. Oh, and Susan wants to know how Splinter is. All right, Splinter did not make it. We spent the night last night rotating. We use a lot of moving blankets, a lot of old blankets, and we've done several requests asking you guys if you had any old linens like that, blankets and towels, spreads, anything. Instead of throwing them to the trash, we could figure out a way to get them sent to us. We cover the cost of shipping, whatever it takes. We go through a lot of them. But anyhow, Splinter was down, and he was the very first goat that we got when we started this. He was the one, and we had him. We didn't know why Holy Spirit was leading us to get the goats, but we obeyed, and we went and got a goat. We got Splinter. And on the way home, he was a little infant. He was 2 days old, and just a little tiny thing. You could fit him in the pocket of your jacket. He was so little. On the way home, we was going to get here, and my intentions were to go in the bathroom and where I could be alone and pray and say, Father, I've got a goat. Now what do I do? And I kept, God was speaking to me from the back seat, and we rode 45 minutes, 50 minutes. It was a long drive. It was me and Kim and baby Splinter, and we didn't say a word to each other. It's not that we were upset or anything was wrong, but something supernatural was taking place. And I kept hearing goats. I said goats, not goat, goats, plural. Well, we got home and I prayed about it, and I was answered immediately. I was supposed to get goats. So we had 4 of them, and I never got an answer what we were doing with them. And 4 years into it before he ever answered me and revealed it to me. But anyhow, Splinter, he's somewhere around 210 to 220. He's a big goat, big boy. He's a purebred Nubian, and he was down yesterday. And we were warming these moving blankets up in the dryer. He was so cold that his temperature didn't even register on the digital thermometer. And we would wrap him in these blankets right out of the dryer, and then it was all night. We'd run that dryer for probably 9 hours, and it was continuous back and forth. And we had him out back in the boys' pen where the intact males are kept. And I took the tractor back there, and we built this enormous fire, and we moved him out there by the fire. We had to drag him on the blanket. It was too heavy to pick up to try to get him warm, and it wasn't successful. And so we had a friend come over, and the 3 of us got him loaded up in the back of my car. We emptied out the back and removed the seats, and we got him back there. We brought him through the front door of our home, and we put him inside the hall bathroom where he could have the heat on him. And then we put the heating pads on him, and with a blanket over the top of that, and there was nothing we could do. And Splinter, 3 years ago, he went down, and we took him to the vet, and he ended up, he had urinary calculi. And on a human, it's sort of like kidney stones. They get these crystals in their urethra and inside it. Just their entire urinary tract is ate up with these things. Well, on a goat, at the end of their penis it looks like a worm, a really long, very thin little worm, and it moves around. It's really strange, and it's tiny, about the diameter of a pencil lead. Well, his was plugged up with the crystals, and they actually had to remove it. And they give him 3 weeks. They said between 2 to 3 weeks, and he was going to die. There was no saving him. The crystals, his kidneys were just completely blocked with these crystals. And 3 different veterinarians, and it was the same diagnosis. So we laid hands on him. We brought him home. We prayed over him, prayed in the Holy Spirit, and we weren't giving up on him. That wasn't an option. And We got here and Kim prayed about it, and we use a product called ammonium chloride. And if you have goats, if you have males that you've castrated, you need to give them this ammonium chloride. It is done by body weight, by pounds of body weight. And it's not going to hurt the females. Or if you feed your goats grain, they're supposed to eat hay only. And if you give them grain, you need to give them the ammonium chloride to prevent them from suffering the urinary calculi. It is extremely painful. It's hard. But Kim had prayed about it, and she mixed up a triple dose of the ammonium chloride, and we poured it to him. And this was every day. I think it was 7 days. We done this every day of the week for 7 days, and we mixed it in their drinking water and in their food. And about 2 months later, we had picked up another rescue, took him into the vet, and the vet asked about Splinter. And Kim said, he's doing great. He's doing fantastic, which he was. And they couldn't believe it. And they even had us bring him in, not to check him. They wanted to see that he was still alive because they don't survive that. And we brought him in, and they couldn't understand how he survived. And we told him what we had done. But he made it, and that was roughly 4 years ago that happened. And he had a 3-week terminal diagnosis, but it wasn't what God had planned for him. And he's been a wonderful goat. He was the big one in the back that some of the earlier videos I told you guys that he would always try to breed me when I go out there. And I have a problem with a very high testosterone level, and the goat sensed that on me. Well, for him, he picked it up as though it was androgen level or estrogen level, and he was all over me. But it's hard when you have one like that you bond to. And we took the tractor out today, and we prepared a hole for him, and we wrapped him up in a blanket, covered him up good. And while we was in the process of getting his hole prepared, one of the goats we took in a few months back, she was the one recently that her and the turkey, something got them, and her ear was removed, one ear. And it looked like somebody had took a surgical scalpel and removed it flush with her head. It wasn't torn. It was just a perfect, I've never seen nothing like it. It wasn't bleeding. The ear was gone. And the turkey, that comb looking thing that hangs off his nose on the gobblers, hangs way down. His was seared off. Half of it's gone, and we never found out what happened. To this day, we don't know what happened to him. But she was having a seizure. She was laid on the ground out there and seizing really hard. And, well, she didn't make it either, and was in the process of sending Splinter back to where he came from, and we had to put Ginger in the hole with him. And I used a chain link fence post that had concrete on it, and I got it down in the bottom of the hole so it only sticks up maybe 1.5 feet above the ground. And I wanted something steel, so I'm going to make a headstone for him, and we're going to bolt that down on it. But that's where we are with him. He didn't make it. And thank you guys for the prayers and the support. It's been a very I don't know the word I'm looking for. It's been a hard day. Emotionally, it's just been hard. When you lose an animal that you're bonded to, it's like losing a family member. And he was family. And I don't like losing any of them. Even ones that we pick up we've never seen in our life, and they die before the end of the day. It's hurtful to have an animal suffer or to have one die like that. And it's part of nature. We all have to do it, but if there's a way that we can intervene and prevent it from happening and enrich life form, that's what we try to do at all times. But anyhow, it's all good. He's home with the Lord where he's supposed to be, and if God sends him back, maybe he'll send him somewhere he can live with wealthy people and just eat gold and lobster and all the rich people's food. And he's had it good. Oh, there's Sam, brother Sam. How you doing, buddy? Who's your squatch? Many birds. It's good to see you. Thank y'all for coming in. But I had one of our family here on the channel had sent me an email, and I want to share this with you. And it is about somewhat of an encounter. He didn't see it, and it's sort of long, but I do want to read it to you. And he said I could. And let me find out. He actually drove down through Cottondale, down Highway 73 in Marianna, and that's where I had my encounter just a few days ago when he's telling me. And he said he could see how they could live there. I'm going to read this email to you. I'm just trying to, the way it come out on my phone, I have to scroll side to side to read the entire sentence. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. Let's see. I'm just going to read it. I'm going to read it from the start. I'll skip the first couple of lines on here. They don't really pertain to the encounter. Here we go. Okay. He says, I think I had an encounter on November 25th at Hopkins Prairie in the Ocala National Forest. And that's in Florida, if you guys don't know. They have had a lot of them reported up that way for years. And in 2017, some Jeepers were driving through the campground, and one of the ladies said she saw a man walking through the swamp. And she said something about how broad his shoulders were. Then they all had realized that it wasn't a man. So about a month ago, I went to Hopkins Prairie Campground to camp out for the night. I make my bed in the bed of my truck, and I put PVC pipe frame in the bed and then stretched a mosquito net and or a tarp over it to keep out any bugs and to keep them dry from the dew or rain. He said, I've done this for years. And the website for Hopkins Prairie Campground says that the camp host has firewood for sale, so I didn't take any with me. Well, the camp host ended up not being there, so I did without a fire or any supper. I sat around after it got dark and read my Bible on my phone for a couple of hours. Then I finally crawled into bed, and I have a couple of milk crates that I carry in my F-150, and I carry stuff like my snake chaps and other things in them. I had set those on the ground by the driver's side of the truck, right behind the back door. And the tarpy I have is huge, and it covered the bed of the truck and all the way down on the ground. So it covered up the milk crates also. And he did attach some photos to show me. I still can't figure out how to share them on here, right? It says, right before I went to bed, my battery was getting low and I couldn't get a cell signal. So he had plugged his phone into the cigarette charger in the cab of the truck. So I don't know exactly what time the following events happened. I'm a light sleeper, and around midnight, I was awakened by footsteps. It was very apparent that whoever or whatever it was bipedal. Where I was camping, there was no one else around. I was on one end of the campground, and there were a few people on the other end, but far enough away that I couldn't hear them or see them. There was a camp trailer and a tent about 20 yards from me, but no one was around. Those footsteps kept walking around my camping spot and then right up next to the truck. I didn't want to try and pull the tarp up to see what was out there because it makes so much noise with all the crinkling, and I can't get out very quickly. I've had serious back problems, and even after 5 back surgeries, I still have a difficult time walking. He said, I was sitting up with my 9mm in my hand, and I finally called out and said, "Who's there?" I said it one more time and didn't get any response. This person or thing walked around for probably 8 or 10 minutes and then finally left. The wind was blowing from 5 to 10 miles per hour and just enough to keep the mosquitoes away, and I never smelled anything out of the ordinary, perhaps maybe because of the wind. I'm not certain it was not a bear, since I didn't hear any heavy breathing or grunts, and it was so apparent the steps were made by 2 feet. There was no food or trash that would have brought a bear in either. Like I said, these creatures have been reported all up through that area and on up to Fort McCoy in the Ocala National Forest for years. I would never walk into anyone's camp unannounced, since everyone I know who camps is armed to the teeth. And in Florida, your camp is considered to be an extension of your home, and the castle doctrines do apply. No one in their right mind would walk through a swamp like what the Jeepers saw in 2017, with all the alligators, water moccasins, flesh-eating bacteria, etc. I didn't think to look for any footprints the next day. After talking to a man with the Gulf Coast BFRO, he told me it is common for a Bigfoot to walk into camps to check things out when they think no one is there. And since I talked to him, I've read several reports of Bigfoot doing just that, exactly like what happened in my camp. So I'm about 50% that it was and that it wasn't a Bigfoot. I had started to hang my trail camera up to watch my camp while I slept, but I forgot. I will go back to camp there again soon, since winter is the perfect time to camp in Florida. I'll make a way that I can see out of both sides of the bed of my truck quickly if I hear something again. I'll take my shotgun with me this time, though. The next morning, I drove out of the campground and then back to the west of the road that borders Hopkins Prairie. The forest there is very rugged, and the road is narrow for a full-size pickup. Four-wheel drive is required on the sandy road. To the south, across the swamp, there is a boat launch and a wide spot where I could camp. But I think the Bigfoots are coming out of the forest by this boat ramp and crossing over to the campground. It is, and I'm guessing, about 500 yards across. The water dries up in the swamp in the dry season, fills back up when the rains start again. My goal is to drive every road and trail in the Ocala National Forest. Some of the roads are so narrow that the scrub oak is really scratching my truck up, but I'm going to do it. And then he signs off. But that's so many. You hear so many encounters like that, camping, and these things walk up around the tent. And, we had one take my bike when I was young. And we heard stuff all night, but we never heard him come up and grab the bicycle. And I had a piece of garbage. My buddies had really nice bikes, and I got this jalopy bicycle, and mine's the one that they took and they tossed it up on top of a little scrub oak right next to the road, or a little, I think it was a blackjack oak. See, I don't see. Okay, I was looking to see if my brother may have made it in. He hasn't, but if he will be coming on. He's going to be sharing some encounters, and he's got so much knowledge on the Sasquatch and the different types of them. Toby Gilliland, good to see you, buddy. Christopher. We also, for you guys that weren't here a little while ago, we have Brother Kyle Maynard. His mother was Carol Maynard. She's the one that we did the prayer requests for. And that whole situation was it was charged with the Spirit of God. And what happened through all of that was amazing. But anyhow, Kyle has had several encounters with the big fellers. in the woods in southern Ohio. And he was supposed to come on tonight to share those encounters with us. I don't know if we're going to do them all at the same time or if he's going to come back or whatever he wants to do. It's all up to him. But he's had a family emergency where he had to leave. I don't know if he's still driving right now. I heard from him earlier today, but he had to go out of town. And hopefully they're going to be back in time for Christmas with their children and grandchildren. But I would guess between Friday and New Year's Eve, we're going to be bringing Kyle on. He's going to be sharing his encounters. And Derek Flippin, we're doing good, Derek. Doing really good. We had a rough day, and it's been one of those days you can't wait for it to get over. But we're good. We're alive. The Lord's still here with us and guiding us. Here's I'm going to put this up with Christopher put on there. Those things are going slow tonight. There we go. For you guys to see it, Christopher asked Donnie, how do you honestly feel about those upright walking canines? I mean, that mind-blowing. Aren't you afraid to go back in those woods alone? The encounter that I had with one where I seen it, I was with brother Jeff Townsend. He's in the chat. Him and I went in there and we came up on one. And what was so strange about it was that I wasn't, there wasn't no bad vibes coming off of him. It was just unusual. There wasn't anything. I didn't feel any sorrow, any anger, nothing. It was almost as though he was afraid that we were there. And it may have been Jeff was loaded to the gills, and I mean, Rambo would have had a hard time dealing with Jeff that night. He had some big guns on him, but this thing was, it was almost as though he was scared of us being there. And one of the things Jeff had told me just recently, it's when you see one of them, it's always on your mind all the time. You see a shadow, you see a bird fly by wrong, it doesn't take anything to trigger it. And it takes you back to that and you start thinking about it. But he had said that when I turned, I told him, I said, I want to get back. I want to get away from it. I want to get back near the lake. Well, Jeff stayed right there to make sure I got a good enough distance away from him before he took the gun off of him and then followed in behind me. And he said, when I turned and walked away, Jeff and I were not together. We were spread out, probably 15 foot apart from one another. And where this thing was sitting, looked like a werewolf you see in the werewolf movies. It was so strange. Where he was sitting, he was facing Jeff. His front side was facing Jeff. So I was off on his left side, his hard, straight off his left shoulder is where I was at. And he was watching me. And when I turned and started walking back toward the little pond that's there, Jeff had his rifle trained on him and he's staring at him. And he had his head turned and he was watching me. And Jeff sat there motionless and he's got the gun drawn and he's got it aiming at him, watching him. And he said it rose up. It started to stand up and it was watching me. And then it had noticed that Jeff was still there. He didn't realize Jeff's thinking that this creature thought that we were together and we exited together because he started to rise up on 2 feet. He was squatted down really low. And at one point he even laid down, but that was when he was squatted, and he started standing up and he got up a couple of feet. And then he kind of eased his head around in the direction Jeff was at. And then Jeff said it was like a flash. He dropped down so quick when he got down low enough that he didn't think Jeff was able to see him. And that was it was bizarre the way that thing moved. And when he had went from the sitting position to the laying position, it was fast. You could see it, but you almost couldn't keep up with it. The movement was so quick and almost silent. This thing's running really slow. I'm trying to keep up with you. Oh, Denise, thank you. Just picked up her phone. By my surprise, she was on our live show with us, and she's feeling all right now to end her evening with her family here. Yeah, thank you, Denise. God bless you. Chris from New Jersey. I had, hang on, let me see if I got it. Well, I don't know where I may not have brought it in here. That'll be all right. That'll be for another time. I was hoping we would have my brother jump backstage with us. He may come in tonight. But anyhow, everything here is going good. Or we'll have Kyle hopefully will come on to share his encounters here sometime between Friday and New Year's Eve. And then we have another guest, one of our brothers from the channel. He should be coming on any day now, anytime, and he may even pop in tonight. There's no telling. He's really busy, and he's dealing with a bad back right now also, and you guys know how that is. I did go to another area a couple of days ago. I got a lot of footage in there, but I didn't catch anything out of the ordinary that I would say, yes, I believe that's one of the big fellas. But one of the strange things I did find, there was a log, a cypress stump, and it looked like the tree must have died 50 years ago, and it just had it was probably 2 foot across, but it had the outside rim, the outside perimeter was like a strip of really sharp points, and the inside rotted out, and that's what was poking up. And on top of it was this really gigantic log, huge in diameter and about 5 or 6 feet long. And it was stuck. You got this, I don't have enough room to show you, but you have this stump, this cypress sticking up, and this log was stuck on this one point. And I put my hand, I touched the end of it, and it moved. It was balanced on there. And where it was at, there's no way nobody would have got out there. But I found there's a tree over there, and I got video on it. I don't know if I'm going to use it. I do a lot of filming that I never post a video. But the tree had these really nasty cuts in it, like from a dull axe is what it looked like. The cuts were probably that long, each individual cut, but it was deep, and a lot of the flesh of the tree was on the ground. It was hacked out of it, and it was soft and muddy, the whole area. It's in the swamp. There's no footprints anywhere. The only prints that are there are from the deer and the wild pigs. And I walked on the back side of that tree that's hacked up, and it's not a big tree. It's probably, I'd say that big around, and 15 foot tall, 20 foot tall. It's not real big. But on the back side, it's got a lot of damage, but it looks like somebody took you see how these bakery people that do the cakes, the specialty cakes, and they put the little flowers out of ice, and they do all the little designs on it. Well, they had whittled or cut that tree, and the flesh was rolled out like a tulip, the way that, and it was the flesh of the tree. And I thought it was maybe a crazy mushroom growing out of the tree, and I reached up just to see if it would pop off, and it's the actual wood, something carved it, and it looks like a tulip, probably that big around, and it's sticking out that far from the tree. It's I don't have an answer for it. I have no idea what that is. But if I can get enough of these short clips, I may just do like a I don't forget what it's even called. Just do a video with just these short little clips of the odd stuff that I find. I missed a lot of you guys comments. I'm trying to keep up with them. Where did we go? Yeah, I'm way behind. Oh, I'm looking at B-Lynn in the chat. I don't know if you guys seen her. You know, we're all about praying for one another in here. B-Lynn in here put on there, sorry I can't chat or type much. I have a very painful torn rotator cuff in the right shoulder. And of course, I'm right-handed, plus other accident injuries to recover from now. And now with the cold weather. You guys add her to your prayers when y'all are praying for people, you know, that she'll get over that. Something that minor, I deal with that all the time because with the way my neck is, I lost a vertebrae in my neck, so they cannot replace my shoulder. And I deal with which mine's my left side. I'm right-handed and it's my left shoulder, but I'll tell you, when that flares up, it's bad. It's painful. It's extremely painful. So just add her to your prayers, please. You know, we need to get everybody in tip-top shape. There's some craziness coming down the pipe for us, and I think it's all biblical. Whether you believe in end-time events or not, we're all going to have to deal with it. I wish I could find that. I had to delete. I deleted 8,000 photographs and videos from my phone. The memory was full, and it wouldn't allow me to do anything. I couldn't even listen to some of the shows I listened to. But I wanted to find. I had another. It wasn't so much an encounter. I hope that ain't it. We'll shoot. I have to go through it. There's so many of them on here. But it had kind of kicked in the memories of things that happened. And one of the things I meant to talk to Scott about when we had him on, a lot of you guys have dealt with supernatural things in your home, paranormal stuff. One of the email that I got was about paranormal stuff happening to this lady, things she was dealing with, and she doesn't want me to share it. She was just sharing it with me because she watched the old video when we had the paranormal problems in our house, in the one room in the house, where the metal detector would come on and my multimeter would come on, and even when I removed the batteries out of them, they would still come on all hours of the night. And normally it was between midnight and 3 o'clock or so is normally when it would happen. There's brother Pappy Two Bears. Good to see you, Pappy. Always good to see you, Pappy. And Chris Jarvis. There's Kyle right there. All right, there's Kyle. You guys read that? Kyle sent me a message to give me a little idea of what he went through. And I've got him on my phone, but I won't never share anybody's nothing. Anybody shares with me unless they ask me to or they give me permission to. And since I have, y'all see it right there, I got Brother Kyle's permission. We are still going to get him on to tell his story. Kyle's one of us. He's a true brother and a wonderful man. I've talked to him several times. Mostly we text a lot. We're in that era, but I have talked to him on the phone, and he's just, I love him. He's a good man. Let me find, I'll share with you what he sent me. Let me make sure I didn't pass it up. We talk a lot, Colin. I do. With there's so many of you guys on there that we're all connected. Let's see. I'm looking. I think I just passed it. Okay, yeah. Okay, just bear with me just a second. Let me see where it's at, and I'm going to share this with you. This is a brief. Let me find out where he's at. There we go. This was just a short version of what happened to Kyle in Southern Ohio. It was some of the areas that he used to hunt on is where this happened. I just had it and I passed it, but I'll get right back to it. Just bear with me. I'm sorry. I can't read as fast as my fingers move. I think I just passed it again. Oh, I did. This is just all right. This is a shortened version of what Kyle had went through, and I'm going to read this. Kyle, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to read. I know you said I could share with them. I'm trying to get the part of your message where it starts. All right. Here it goes. And this is from Kyle Maynard. He's part of us. He's one of our family here. Wonderful man. He said, I truly believe that I'd be one of the hunters David Paulides writes about if I wouldn't have protected myself by shooting the tree it was in front of the second one. And like I said, I really thought it was a big coyote, a bear, or a dog, because it was on all fours and sneaking in low like a cat sneaking up on a mouse or rabbit until it cleared the thicket. And then she got up and ran towards me. And that's when I saw what it was. And I shot over her head and I watched it run over the mountain. That one happened so fast I didn't have time to think, just react. But it was 100% female. I did see breasts, eyes, skin, hair, and body parts clearly, but not for long because she was always moving through brush and briars. And then that was just one of them. And one of his other ones, he's going to come on and tell you guys, tell these stories in detail. I'm just trying not to butcher it. He said, I can tell you if the big male hadn't turned and ran when I shot the tree, my next shot, I would have blown its face off because it was that close. Its next step would have placed it on top of me. And it was ticked off, and it sounded like it was using some kind of language when it was yelling and screaming. I got the feeling I was being cursed out. I've searched and searched for a language that sounds similar, and the only language I've heard on the internet that sounds similar is a mixture of Cherokee and Bushman of the Kalahari. You know, the clicks and sounds they make. Well, that was what he was doing, but very, very loud. And at the end, when he screamed, and right before he lunged toward me, he made a sound I've never heard. It shook my entire body when it hit me and felt like a huge wave hitting and penetrating my entire body. It was a horrific ordeal. And next time, if there is one, I'm shooting first and deal with the consequences later. And I pray I'm never that close again. This, guys, these encounters right here, just this brief little short teaser, that was from Brother Kyle, Kyle Maynard, and that man walks filled with the Holy Ghost. His daddy is a preacher. The whole family is very, very Holy Ghost filled. Kyle's mother had passed away recently, and most of you guys know about Miss Carol. Oh, Brother Butch, how you doing, buddy? And Don Moore, it's Tom Paul. It's good to see you guys, Brother Keith. But when Kyle's mother, Miss Carol, when she left to go home and be with the Lord, can you believe that Kyle's father, her husband, performed her funeral service? Is that not amazing? I watched it, and I posted the link on the channel for you guys that were interested, and it was the most amazing thing. I don't know how he done it. Can you imagine you've got to be drowned in the glory of God to do something like that. That is amazing. But his father preached his own wife's funeral. I have a lot of respect for that family, and Kyle knows it. I love him. He's a wonderful man. And let's see. Oh, that's all right, Kyle. Kyle he just sent me a message. He's on the road, and they're at a hotel right now, and the hotel's Wi-Fi keeps knocking him out. It's all good, Kyle, if you can hear us. We're going to bring you on and let you tell it in your own words. But as soon as Kyle gets back in town from this trip, it's an important trip. He's got to go. They've had a family emergency, and it's something that you can't miss. It will only happen once, and if you miss it, it's a lot to live with. But anyhow, he should be back Friday at his home. Thursday or Friday. I don't recall what he had told me. I've been a little overwhelmed emotionally with losing our buddy Splinter, the goat. Johnny on the spot. Yeah, and I'll put this up with Johnny on the spot. Just said, Scott Carpenter verified that. He said the same thing, and it was confirmation for me. I've never understood why it's almost as though these things target me, and I never understood why. I don't want them around me. I don't want them. I'd be tickled pink if I never encountered one ever again the rest of my life. And Scott said that when you live and serve our Creator, the God that made us all, and when you carry His essence on you, they see that. The demonic can see that. And if you go in some of the texts of the Bible, look at the actual text, it says you put on the whole armor of God, that armor of light. They see it as light. You get out in them woods, daytime, nighttime, it doesn't matter. You glow. They see the light on you, and they know what it is. You're carrying the flame of the Holy Spirit, and they don't like that. And one of the things I got to say that this was from, you guys know Jeff Townsend. He's my brother. He's in the chat right now. Jeff and I talk just about every day of the week. And we were talking about the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot, these huge creatures. And it's always puzzled me. I always thought that they were coming out of the bottomless pit. And it's the reference from the Bible is that during the end times, God will send the angel with the key to the gates of the bottomless pit. He's going to open it up. These beasts are going to come out and they're going to wreak havoc on mankind that's turned their backs on him. But they're not allowed to touch even a blade of grass, only mankind. And so I got to thinking, well, that can't be Sasquatch, because they destroy trees, they shred stuff. And so it's not them. And I always felt that it was, and I'm wrong at that. But one of the things Jeff had brought up, and it anchored in my mind when he told me this, and I want you guys to really think this through. A lot of people believe the Sasquatch were put here by God. He created them, put them here to serve a purpose. And that may be true. I did believe that at one time. And I'll tell you why I don't believe it now. And it's because of a conversation that I had with Jeff Townsend. And Brother Jeff said, the Bible tells us that when God created us, the animals were already here. And then he made us. And when he had done that, he had gave mankind dominion over all the animals of the earth. We got dominion over all of them. But we don't have dominion over Sasquatch. And when Jeff said that, it really it anchored in hard. And there's so much truth to that. And if God gave us power over all the animals, dominion over these animals, then why don't we have dominion over the Sasquatch? No man on this planet will ever control a Sasquatch, because they weren't made by God. And I feel that is true. That is my beliefs. If you guys believe something different, and, I honor all of you for that. Oh, thank you, Pappy. I'm not sure how to, let me see. I don't know if I can pull the email without knocking the stream off. I hope I don't. Yep, and even Don says that there. We don't have dominion over them, but they tell us to leave their area. The Sasquatch, and that's right. That's crazy. There's Helen's telling everyone Merry Christmas from Labrador, Northern Canada. Hold on. I'm sorry. Sorry, Don. I didn't mean to do that, buddy. My computer's running really slow. And I clicked on Helen to pull this up right quick. And it took about 10 seconds. And the comment shifted and it pulled you up. I'm sorry. Kyle, that's no problem, buddy. I let him know what was going on with you. But I also told him that you will be coming on to share your encounters, to go into detail with what happened with everyone. And I told him sometime between Friday and New Year's Eve. And if all's good, we're going to get Kyle on here, and he's going to let us end this year with some more crazy encounters. And any encounter with these things is absolutely crazy. Oh, wait, here it goes. Pappy had sent me a poem, and I was just telling him I don't know how to read it. Oh, here we go. Okay. All right, this is from Pappy. Pappy Two Bears. You gotta love him. Pappy is an amazing man. If you don't know him personally, you guys, y'all need to really get to know Pappy. He'll bless you. I mean, your life would change for the better just knowing him. But this is a poem he just sent to me, and he said I can read it on here. It says a little poem, a Bigfoot poem that he wrote for this Christmas season. Hope you enjoy and feel free to share it. I am going to share it right now, Pappy. And it's called Santa's Big Feet. Okay. It was the day before Christmas, not long ago, at my cabin down by the creek. I was pondering the snow and how much would fall because the weather report was bleak. I knew my friends that lived in the woods would be struggling to find their next meal, so I packed up a bag of snacks for them all and let them know that I am keeping it real. Although I've never seen them, I know that they're there, hiding and watching what I do, and they know I like to share. Apples and nuts and a few donuts too. I laid them all in a row under the tree at the usual spot that offered protection from the snow. I returned to the cabin and relit the stove, feeling good about what I've done. I went for my phone to check the weather when I discovered the phone was gone. Somewhere out there, it had slipped away from the clip I carried it on. Lost in the snow between here and there, I figured that phone was gone. Round about the middle of the night came a squeak from the side porch door. Something had come a-poking around like I've heard many nights before. I flipped on the light while peeking outside, hoping to see the cause. Nothing but snow, big fluffy flakes I thought must be Santa Claus. I opened my door to look on the porch, and there lay the phone by the door. It was wet with snow melting, no puddle yet, newly placed on the mat on the floor. Beside it, so plain, an incredible sight, I couldn't believe my eyes. A wet footprint so big and so long, it was an incredible size. Who would have known that the stories were true? They make their presence known to those who are aware and show respect when we venture into their home. Maybe sometime when things are just right, we'll get the chance to meet. Until that happens, I'll be satisfied knowing my Santa had big feet. That was good. That was from Pappy, Brother Pappy. I love it. Pappy, thank you for sharing that with me. I absolutely love that. And I hope you don't mind. I'm going to be sharing that with a few people if you're all right with that. That was awesome. Let's see. Yeah, Derek, that's one of the things we've talked about a lot on here, and I'll put it up so everybody can see what I'm talking about. But being careful out there and saying prayers. You know, that's if I'm going to film or going hunting, I pray here at home. I pray on the way there. I pray when I get there. And if I'm going to sit like hunting, I go out there and I'll sit in my little chair or I'll sit in my stand. When I get situated, I'll pray. Because you always, in between prayer, you always feel that you may have done something that's going to come against you. And you always want to make sure that you got that lock of prayer in. I wish I had the other story. What I was getting at with the supernatural thing, what I was telling you guys earlier, or the paranormal. We've got this area. There's been a lot of Native American artifacts found, mainly arrowheads and carving tools, that type of thing. And there's a lot of pottery you can find around the creeks and the little streams around this area. But the woods themselves, I mean, even our backyard here, back behind where the goats are, in the hoop house where I keep the tractor, I bet it's been 50 times now that I'll go out there to do something in the hoop house or to do something on the tractor, and I feel a hand touch me on my back. I'll feel pressure, and I done it today again. And the email that I got, I can't go into details because she didn't want me to share it, but that's what is happening in our home. And the conversation I was telling her, you know, the outside property, it's not the same as what's in the doors of your home. Your home is your sanctuary. And there's the tax when you buy a home, you're paying a property tax. I don't know why they don't call it a home tax, but you're not really paying taxes on the home, but there's something to the property in the home. And when we had the paranormal stuff happening inside our home, it messed up everything. Everything was going wrong all the time. Sicknesses and things not working out, nothing lining up right, and just complete bizarre stuff, things that should be on TV. But we finally done a cleansing. It took 2 times. The first time, I think it kind of aggravated him, angered him a little bit. Whatever was in here got really mad at me. And he tried to lash out on me, and I fought back. But I fought back using Holy Spirit. And we done a second blessing on it. Second blessing, we got it done. We got him moved out, and we still have some sounds, I guess you could say. Thank you, Lita. Said prayers for me. Thank you. But they don't mess with us inside the home. We hear voices at night in our bedroom where Kim and I sleep. And the voices are coming from the wall. They're not coming from outside. And the north and east wall of our bedroom is, on the other side of the wall is the outdoors. And it's not coming from outside. It's coming from inside. But it's just a conversation. It sounds like 2 old women, 2 old ladies talking. It's really strange. But before we had done the cleansing, you get growled at. You walk down the hallway, and the room where all the activity was, you would hear a growl, like a dog growl. But you could almost feel it, like it was right there, the same height as you. You walk by, and it'd growl right in your ear. And you turn, and the door's closed. And it's almost as though the door growled at you. And it was just odd. And it got to where it was angering me, and we got it. We took care of it. It just took 2 tries. I didn't do it right the first time. But today, we had to bring the tractor around so we could dig the hole and send Splinter back home and little Ginger. And when I took the tractor back around to the back to park it, I got off the tractor and was just taking all the pressure off all the hydraulics so it doesn't sit with that localized pressure on the cylinder. And I got everything freed up, and I stood there for a second, and I was looking toward the lake, just staring off toward the water, and I felt a small hand, like a child's hand, right in the low part, that lower part of your back, like you're right there by your belt. And it felt like it pushed me. And if you can imagine in your hand, in your mind, a hand pushing on your back and your belts being like right here, but the hand somehow under the belt, where it's below the belt and up under my shirt at the same time. It was very, very, it was weird. It was very weird. And I just let them know right then, it's not welcome. I'm not their property. I belong to someone much greater than any of these spirits and things that we have around us. And I don't know what it was. It didn't feel threatening, but it reminded me of that, what that lady had emailed me. But she's having a lot of problems. This thing's, they're opening cabinets at night, and she hasn't seen the cabinet open. But she'll go in the kitchen, make her a drink, and walk through the threshold in the next door. And she says, you don't really hear a sound. But she said, you do hear it. She said, there's no sound at all. But the way that she perceives it is that she heard it with her ears. But she said, there's nothing. It's silence. And when I hear this silence hit, she turns around and cabinet doors are open. Sometimes dishes are out on the counter. And she'll put them up, walk back out of the room, come back 10 minutes later, same thing's happening again. And she never physically hears the sound. It's like she's hearing in a spiritual dimension. That's weird. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Riker said a house cleaning is not like an exorcism. It's much easier with a place than a person. Yep, absolutely. We live in a strange time, guys. Very strange time. I'm getting a lot of just bizarre emails from what people are encountering, and most of them are very short. A lot of them, it could be anything. But some of the stuff they're sending me is really, it's crazy. I'd put it on the show. I'd at least do a video on it if they'd allow me to do that. And sometimes they just never respond. They don't tell me I can or I can't, and I'm not going to do it. And without someone telling me that I can, I want to see if I can find this guy's email. I wanted to read this one to you. This encounter this guy sent, or it's not an email, it's a text message. I got to remember what his name was. Oh shoot. Let me see if that's him. Nope. I'm going to find him. I just want to share with you. He wrote me what he experienced, and it's one of them clear creatures and see-through things. I just do not remember what the fellow's name was. It was quite a while back, and he wouldn't give me a yes or no on sharing it, but I think I can do it without, well, I know I can do it without revealing who he is. He's never gotten back in touch with me. I know I've got to be getting close. I'm sorry I'm making you guys wait. I keep forgetting. I've been wanting to share that, what he experienced with you for a long time, and I keep forgetting to do it. I wish I remember what his name was. I may not have it on this phone. Yeah, I don't guess I have it. No. Well, shoot. Anyway, what it is, the guy lives in an area close to me, very, very close. Where his house sits on a dirt road. They have a really big front yard, a couple hundred feet out to the road. And when you walk out of the front door of his house, the door is in the very center of his house. And he said you have like 50 foot to the left of the door and 50 foot to the right of the door. It's a big house. And on the end of the house on either side of it there's woods about 25 or 30 feet from the end of the house, and they go all the way to the woods or to the road. I'm sorry. So it was wooded. When they bought the property to build the home, it was solid planted pine trees from the paper company. And I don't remember how many acres they got. It's quite a bit. I think they were 80 acres or 60 acres. And they cleared from the road just wide enough to go back and to clear a rectangle with the house kind of about, if you were to quarter it off at the third quarter, to where their backyard is only 20 or 30 feet from the house. It's really small backyard, but it's all front yard, big front yard. The driveway comes in at the far end of the property, right next to the trees, and it goes to the back of the house, and then it circles around and it hugs the trees on the opposite side. So standing at the road facing the house, you got the home with a beautiful yard. Then you got what looks like two driveways, one on either side of the house, and then tree line immediately right next to the driveway. And he walked out of the front door and he walked across the yard over to the drive, and he's walking under the tree limbs, and something got his attention, and he turned and looked up the tree behind him, and just a few feet above his head was one of these clear creatures, and he was on a limb, had his was squatted down like the one that I had seen up at our property, and was just sitting there like a gargoyle staring at him. But it was see-through. He could see the outline. He could make him out very clearly, but it was like it was made of water, and it freaked him out so bad he got to the road and he took off. And he was younger, a lot younger when this happened. He was in his teens. I don't remember the exact age, and now he's I think he's almost 30. But he was supposed to come on and share that. And he's had several other similar encounters, but it also with these clear creatures. I wish we could get my brother to come on here to share some of the encounters he had. We're going to get him on. It was supposed to happen last night, and then he hurt his back and said he didn't know if he'd be able to make it. And then our goat Splinter went down, and it wasn't meant to be. Let me see make sure I didn't miss nothing from you guys. I probably missed somebody's. I'm a little behind, guys. Forgive me. I'm not sure. Let me put this up from Dave. Dave says, Don, did you see the guy that Chris from Trail to Bigfoot brought into the swamp? I don't think I know who it was. I quit following them when they started speaking to them things and getting recordings of the voice, and I sent a message of what I thought the voice was from, and I didn't get a real good reply, and I quit following them. I captured the same voice, and it wasn't in the woods, and it definitely was not from a Sasquatch. For me, it wasn't. But I didn't, they had a good show. The Trail to Bigfoot, they really had a good thing going, and I don't know what went wrong, but if you're going to pursue them things, you have sure got to have that armor of light up. You've got to be protected. You're walking into a battlefield with the worst enemies you could imagine. If they decide to come against you, you're outnumbered. If there's 5 of you and one of them, you're outnumbered. They're bad news, and you get prayed up and carry that armor of light on you, and you're good to go. Still get scared. I get absolutely frightened. I don't know. Jeff, do you remember? Jeff and I talked recently, and it was about something that we had witnessed or experienced, and I was going to share it, and I don't remember what it was. Yeah. So Johnny's asking if I'd heard about Mark Barton's story. I did, Johnny. I watched the interview when Kerry had him on Bigfoot Odyssey, and I hate that he's going through that. But when you start messing with the demonic, Satan is he's the master of deceit. He deceives people, and the best of us will be deceived. And the best thing to do dealing with that is not to. It would frighten me to death to have to go through anything like that. I've been through it, not with the Sasquatch, but the demonic. I've dealt with it, and they beat me down for a long time, and it took a lot to get me above it. Yeah, there. Okay, I see. Martha answered it. Yep, Satan also knows his time is short. Yes, absolutely. Devil in disguise. Yeah, that situation with Mark. We all have different ideas and different beliefs, and that's what sets us apart. We're all created by the same Father, but we're all created to be different. And it just the one thing, listening to what Mark was telling about his experience, I hate it for him. He's such a nice guy, but when he was telling it on the show, it just kind of hit me wrong, where he would say he's a Christian and these things will attack a Christian, and then he'd use God's name in vain the very next sentence. And it was happening so frequently that Carrie had to say something to him about the language. And I got a bad feeling about that. You can't be for God and then you curse him constantly and be that way. I think Mark is under attack, and Mark was a Christian, definitely. And I know in his heart, he probably still believes that he is, but he's got the demonic toying with him, and they're bringing anger, they're bringing all this stuff out of him, and now he's in a bad spot, and there's not much he can do without the Holy Spirit and the intervention of the divine. He's got to get a lot of spiritual help, get that cleansed out of him. Mark's good people. I just hate it to see that happen. This is Brother Jeff. He's the one, when we go to places, Jeff comes heavily armed. He said if something, anything invisible touches him in my yard, he's going to shoot it. And you can count on that. That'll definitely happen from Jeff. I just had to put that up. I need a good laugh right now. It's been a rough couple of days, but it's all good. Yep. Helen, you're right. That's why Holy Spirit is educating us about the demonic. It's important stuff to know, how Satan tries to deceive. The great deception is not coming from God. It's coming from Satan, his minions that are, I believe they're already here. We're starting to witness part of it. I think a lot of it's going to come in the form of spacecraft and UFOs and the creatures that operate them. I think part of the great deception is going to come in that line. I should have took me a shower before I come on tonight. I got dirt all over me digging that hole, and now I'm itching everywhere. Yeah, Brother Jeff, Martha, it says, where would you know how to shoot? Where would you know to shoot if it's invisible? Praise God. That is awesome. They had yeah, Dave, you're right. Yeah, Mark, in the Trail of Bigfoot, he was always just, you could feel it watching the videos. You knew Mark carried Holy Spirit with him. It was evident on him. But after that encounter, he's got a horrible mouth, and I hate it for him. Don't worry, Donnie, your video isn't smell friendly. Thank you, Don. I'm nasty. I'm itching all over from the dirt. And we got Louie. He's the great big goat we got that doesn't have any horns. He's a gentle giant. Well, he got up on top of the little box house out back, and I went over by him to see if he was all right, and he reached his paw out, and he grabbed me by the shoulder, and he pulled me up next to him, and he laid his head over, and like they hug you. And he was rubbing on me, so I just sat there and scratched him and loved on him for a while. And then I started itching right after that. So he keeps jumping the fence, getting in the woods over here, and I probably got a tick or something on me. I hope not. I'll be coming out of some clothes really quick. I don't like them things. I wish we had these other encounters to share with you right now. I've got the ones that I got. The people who have sent them in, they don't want them shared, and I appreciate them. These people having faith in me not to share it, and I'm not going to. Absolutely not going to do that. But the encounters, what they went through is just the one encounter. The way it's written, it brings you in. Reading it, you're right there. It's like when first time I read it, it freaked me out. I literally thought I was there having that encounter, and it was scary. The guy's fine. He didn't get messed up or anything, but it just shows you anytime you go out in the woods, no matter where you live, if you live anywhere, or not live, if you go into the forest anywhere on this planet, you stand a high chance of having these things at least watching you. And there's so many people that are dealing with these things up close and personal. I wish they would send them out. If they get a channel, if there's, I don't know if it's even possible to pull a channel up to where people can sign on and either tell their story or write it and put it up themselves, just where they can upload it without their name, without anything, to where they could do it whenever they felt ready to. I think that would be awesome. Thank you, Audrey. She says lots of prayers for you. Thank you so much. We certainly need them right now. But these creatures are everywhere, and they're attacking people's homes. They're damaging property. The main problem that I have now is if I go out, I'm usually hit with either little small rocks, and they're small. They're not thrown hard. They're just kind of tossed, and they'll hit me up in my shoulder blades or up on my shoulder. Sometimes I get hit in the back of the neck or the side of the neck. But where it's happening at, the first thing comes to mind is a squirrel or a bird. It's dropped it, and you look up and there's nothing above you but sky. And it's really very creepy. It really it gets my nerves going. And there's an area, I'm going to be doing a live stream over there very soon. I did check the camera or check my phone. I did go last week to this other spot, and I believe there's a good enough signal I can do a live stream there. I've just got to figure out how the area is laid out. I don't know the area. That was my first time ever going there. But I'm going to go back, and it may be a little while yet. I don't want to be out there during hunting season and walk up on a hunter who's about to shoot a deer, and I scare it off for him. The area where this land is at, where I want to do a live stream at, the people are very closely related. Not all of them, but there are that area is known for brother and sister type marriage. That it's not a place you want to make people mad at you. I'm gonna put this up from Don. We hear a lot of this. What Don Moore had posted. My friend in Virginia has so many complaints of slaughtered farm animals and dogs, and what to do about getting them to leave you alone and your animals. Don, I'll tell you what we done here, and it stopped the activity from where they were banging on the house. It almost sounded like they had their hands and they were using their palms. And in martial arts, you use your palm as one of the most powerful blows you could throw on anybody is with the palm of your hand right there. It's directly in line with the bones of your arm, and it's powerful. And something as big as these animals, and they hit the end of the house, and I believe that's what they're doing. We did find 2 handprints on the wall out there, but the brick would just inside almost sounded like a sonic boom. And this was happening every night of the week. And it'd start anywhere from midnight to 1 o'clock is where it would start. And it would last for a while. And it was a month or so. Kim was hearing it every night, and I never heard it. And then one night I had trouble. I couldn't sleep. And I got up about 11 and I heard it. And I heard the first one was really faint. And then I thought I heard it again. I thought, well, that they don't fly late at night. We are near an Air Force base. We're near 2 of them. One of them, they're not flying because Hurricane Michael destroyed it. The other one, they do fly, but they don't do none of them training exercises at night because of the homes that are in that area. And so I knew it wasn't sonic. And then it finally got to where every time it would boom, the windows in our bedroom would rattle. I mean, it was really hitting the wall hard. But we ended up, if you guys are familiar with the YouTube channel Livewire, that's my brother Mark. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. Mark got in touch with me and said, the infrared lights, put infrared lights up, and I priced them, and they were out of my price range. So he sent me 4 game cameras. And the one that I use at the property is an old style, and it doesn't have that infrared. It takes good pictures. It don't take really good pictures at all at night, but daytime it's wonderful. But he sent me some really nice cameras, and we put them out, and the very day I put them out, the activity stopped. There was no more banging on the house. Just something that simple. And it's the infrared light spectrum. But Mark has been playing with it. He's got the cameras that he uses at his home. He can turn off or on the infrared from his computer. He could turn it off to where he's only using the microphone. And that's how he started catching. Mark's here right there in the chat, Livewire. That's him. You guys need to check him out. This is, I'm going to put this up. Mark, I'm going to post your chat. Oh, I didn't even see that. Oh, good. Thank you so much. Thank you, buddy. But this guy right here, that's Mark with Livewire. And he would listen to his microphone, and he had the infrared turned off, and he would hear him walk up the bipedal footsteps, and he'd flip the infrared light on, and that's how he was catching them on camera. And it was just ingenious. I would have never have thought of that, but he figured it out, and he's caught some amazing stuff. If you guys haven't never seen his channel, go over and check him out. It's Livewire. Subscribe and join his family over there. And he just puts up some amazing stuff that he's been dealing with them for a little while now. And when Mark stepped into it, he never knew nothing about it. And he just, this property that they ended up moving to, the activity was already on it. And he didn't know where to go. He didn't know how to deal with them. He knew nothing. And now he's helping people, and people reached out to help him. And he's sharing the love and, helping those that he can. And he's helped us. And I'm very grateful to him. He's an awesome man. And if you guys ever reach out to him with comments or questions or anything, he will get back to you. Mark is on the ball. Yep. And there's, and here's another one with cameras where Robert's saying the cameras seem to be a deterrent. And we're hearing it a lot now. We're hearing it all just about daily. Somebody will be posting about the cameras, and it's the infrared. And there's what Riker had just posted now, that Scott Carpenter said that the infrared is the way to to get rid of the Bigfoot, and they don't like them. That's for certain. Yeah, I'm not. Crow Creek Cryptids, I use the green pattern laser lights. I'm not quite sure how. I guess you have to run them all night. You put them on the area where you're having issues. I've seen those lights before. The people who do the ghost hunting, they use a lot of them to catch the movement from the supernatural stuff, the paranormal stuff. But I haven't heard of anybody using them for the Sasquatch. But that would be awesome if they work. Because my pop had sent me one of them lights, and I never used it. It's used, but I never even turned it on. I read the little book on what it is, and he does. My pop was into the ghost hunting stuff, and I just I don't want to have nothing to do with it. Yeah, this is one. Somebody just pointed this out to me recently about taking the Christmas lights, the moving Christmas lights, and pointing them toward where you're dealing with the Sasquatch. And I'm not so sure about that. We have security lights that shine at that end of the property, and I've spent so much money on replacing those lights because they will come up, and about 99% certain that it's Sasquatch doing it, but they pop the lens off the light. These big, I think it's halogen lights. These big bulbs are 500 watt, and they'll break the glass, the end of it off. And they've done it so much that I ain't replacing no more of them. It's gotten really expensive because it was nonstop. I'm going to put this up. Sandy is asking, Mark is here. Sandy, there he is, live wire. She's asking, is Mark going to continue posting on his channel since he has moved? I hope he does. I'm sure he will. Mark, if you see that comment there from Sandy, if you have a reply for it, I'll put it up for you so everybody can see it. You have a lot of people that love you on here, and I'm one of them. And no, Don, I have not tried moving or tried the moving Christmas lights yet. We had just got our Christmas lights for our Christmas tree. Yeah, Crow Creek Cryptid says it has worked for me. They're worth a try. And they're leery of them. I'll definitely have to look into those for certain. Because if we could get a list of everything that will deter these creatures from coming near people's homes, and just put it up as a cheat sheet for anybody to have access to it, I think it would be wonderful and help a lot of people. Sandy, I'll keep your message up a little bit longer, so Mark will see it on there, and he may be typing a reply. That way we can get him up. And yeah, Mark's been a part of all of us on here now, I believe. Hater says, do I watch Bigfoot Encounter Radio? I have not. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to put that up for Mark. Now, this is what Mark's saying as of for right now. The guys don't think that he's done with it. You never know. We're coming into a strange time, and those of us that are living for the Lord and walking with Christ, we're going to be dealing with crap like this. It's going to get worse, and there's a very good chance that that Mark may be posting other stuff happening. You never know. God puts us in certain places for his reasons, and he doesn't have to explain to us why. And Mark said he sold the Playhouse today. And we'll put it up. That's where he had the cameras at, if you guys don't know. Because the Playhouse is where these things were coming up toward his house. They were coming right over there past the Playhouse, and it was scary because it was the same one that his children would play on in the daytime. And the sun goes down, and these creatures were all over it. And that's those of you guys that have children, you know how frightening that can be. Let's see. Yeah, this is one that we had talked about recently. They've said it's strange. They don't have any problem being called on audio, but the film, they must know what it's for. So much so that they cover up their face with their hand to break up the outline. I've heard twice from elders, some native elders, and then I've heard it on YouTube probably 20 times from other native elders on other channels. I was watching videos on different channels that the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot creatures, they think that when you take their photograph or video of them, that the camera literally steals part of their soul and they can't get it back. And if you were to be attacked by a Sasquatch and you've got an Uzi machine gun in one hand and you got your cell phone in the other hand, you're better off pulling up your cell phone and turning the camera on. They will run. They'll avoid it. They do not want they're more frightened to have their picture taken than they are to be mowed down by a machine gun. And it sounds goofy, but the native elders swear by it, and they are very hard set on that's exactly what's going on, that these things, that they believe that they'll lose part of their soul. And it's almost these guys are they're ancient. They've been here for a long, long time, and they're not ignorant to technology. I think they may have a different form of technology than what we do. I don't know. The stories are really getting crazy out there. But in regards to the Sasquatch, and a lot of it, I don't know what to think about it. There's a lot of that stuff that I just, for me personally, it's almost embarrassing to even think that it would be part of these creatures. But if they're tied to the demonic, if they're tied in with Satan, Satan is about technology. And if they are any part of him, they're going to have access to technology that'll just blow our mind. But it's hard to imagine a creature that doesn't even have a pair of boxer shorts or shoes to put on his feet to have technology that will surpass anything that we have. It's just hard for my mind to conceive that, but I'm sure it's very real. I just don't want to have to deal with it. For you guys that have been following Mark on his YouTube channel with the Playhouse and Sasquatch coming up on it, the guy who bought the Playhouse asked him about the history of it. So Mark sent him the link to his YouTube channel. Well, evidently he didn't watch it, or he wouldn't have bought it, I don't guess. Oh, that's funny. Crow Greek says the buyer may want a refund. Yeah, and there's, this is one of them. I just seen a clip on just a few days ago what Don had said about the flying humanoids. What is going on with that? It was a television show that I watched, but it was a policeman, and this thing he was pursuing it, and it landed on the ground and come toward him. He threw it in reverse to get out of there, to back away from it. And I think it was in Mexico City. And he heard a crash against the car, and he turned around, and this thing jumped and landed on the windshield, the hood and windshield of his car, and had his face up against the glass looking at him. It was some flying humanoid. And the Mexicans down there think that it's some type of witch. That's bizarre. Let's see. I just jumped way ahead. Can't tell where I'm at now. I got behind. Sorry. Yeah, these, I don't know what's going on with these flying humanoid things. Some of the videos that I've seen that are on these television shows, I don't know, it almost looks comic. But then again, a 9-foot tall, hairy guy that looks like a caveman going through the woods sounds comic. Thank you, Miss Ona. Thank you so much. God bless you. Yeah, we live in a strange time. Guys, I'm gonna try to get our other brother on here. I'll see if he feels up to doing it tomorrow. I know Christmas Eve, the majority of you guys are going to be busy with family and loved ones, and I don't want to pull anybody away from that. But if we can get him to come on tomorrow, he has got a list of I don't know how many, it's a lot, but he has a lot of encounters that were sent to him. And he has just an immense knowledge on all these different types of Sasquatch. And I'm trying to get him to come on to share, to educate us a little bit on some of these things. Because all I know is if they're gigantic and covered in hair and run around in the woods without clothes on, and I'd like to know all that I can. I know they're real. I've seen them. I've witnessed them. I've encountered them. And if I can learn a little bit more about them, it just gives me the upper hand if I happen to run into one again. But I'm going to get him to come on. And he will be coming on. He's dealing with a bad back right now. He hurt his back yesterday, actually. Maybe we can get him to come on tomorrow. That's going to be it's going to be a really good show to watch, because he's trying to pull up a lot of the better encounters. He's got a lot of them, and they're all good, but some of the really crazy ones, he's going to pull up a list of them that he can bring over and share with us. And we're just going to let him have the floor and let him tell about the encounters that were sent to him. It's just all part of getting the word out. And, if we could prevent one person from being part of David Paulides' research, if we can just keep one person from being taken. And I think these creatures, if they're not taking part in if they're not the ones taking these people that go missing out of these wooded areas, these nature trails, and these state parks, if they're not responsible for doing it, I guarantee you they know who is, and they're part of it somehow. One day somebody's going to make that connection and figure out what it is. But that's the whole purpose of putting this stuff out here. The encounters that people send me, the ones that will allow me to share the encounters, is just for those that, the non-believers, and those that have heard things but have never encountered, never witnessed what is doing these crazy sounds or throwing logs at them, and the stuff that people just don't do, that most people aren't physically capable of doing. If we can educate people and save somebody from suffering PTSD or being injured or being taken or killed or whatever could happen, then it's been worth it. You save one person, it's worth it. And a banshee, a screaming witch. Yeah, that's a lot of the stuff that we've heard. People reporting the sounds they're hearing in these woods are like banshees, screaming banshees. And that's I don't know. I've heard the screams. I've heard the howling. We've heard them for years before I had my encounter. The same property where my encounter happened. We've always heard that growling, the strange yelling, scream, howl. It's just so many different. It goes from a high pitch down to this extremely guttural, bassy growl, and it lasts 20 or 30 seconds, one scream. And we never knew what it was. We always thought maybe it was two big wild hogs, two big boars going at it, because they sound demonic when they get to fighting, the big boars. And that's what we always thought them sounds were, until the 5 or 6 of us that were working that field, everybody encountered that thing at different times. But they never told me. The rest of them vacated the field, and I was going out there by myself. I thought everybody was still out there. They were just working and couldn't make it. Nobody ever told me that they encountered a Sasquatch. And, well, I learned the hard way. But they, the rest of them, they packed their stuff and left that property too. And there was a really nice tower hunting stand out there that belonged to Brian. It was a big one. And it had 2 seats on it, and the seats would spin, but they would individually turn like a boat seat. But you could also rotate the 2 seats around one another on the top of it was a round platform about 20 feet up in that peanut field, and they would shoot the pigs out of it. And that thing's got pushed over several times, and it was actually on anchors that were in the ground, and they were pulled out of the ground and it was shoved over. But they left those, I don't know what them stands cost, probably a couple $1,000, but they left them out there. I'm hoping to hear back from that property owner. That's where, when Bigfoot Odyssey comes by here for the documentary, that's where I want to take them. It's over there. But I want to get permission before we can go on the property armed. I'm not going to go on it if they don't allow us. Because in Florida, if you get caught trespassing with a firearm, it's a felony conviction. It's hard. But they got that, the laws in Florida now. If somebody's on your property and you feel that your life's being in danger, you can defend yourself. And if they see us on their property with guns, we don't have permission to be there. And all they got to say is they thought we were that their life was in danger and shoot us, or it's not worth it. So hopefully we'll get the permission here sometime soon. I get a call back from the new owners, and we can get over there. The phone signal was exceptional when I was going over there. And if it's still as good as it was, and which I was with Verizon back then as well, then I'm going to live stream the entire event while we're there. It's going to be Kerry Arnold and his crew. I don't know how many of them, and then me and brother Jeff Townsend. So it's probably going to be quite a few people. And if they're going to be over, I don't know if I'm going to be out there at nighttime. But if everybody's armed, I'll be in the middle of them. But maybe we can do a live stream and share all of that. I'm just waiting on getting an answer back so we can have permission to go. I don't want to pop in on the people. The group that owns it is an investment group. And I don't understand why where that property is it'll be 100 years before they ever develop any part of that area. There's no money to be made other than farming. And the wild hogs, the damages are so catastrophic over there. That's the reason the man who owned the property, Sonny, that's why he sold it. It was too much, 100,000+ a year crop damage from the wild pigs. And we were there to exterminate the wild pigs. And then we got escorted off the property by this big hairy caveman creature, but he got all of us. Excuse me. I thought I was saying, oh, there it is. Crow Creek Cryptids. May put up my first encounter pic for y'all soon. Merry Christmas. Do you have an actual picture of an encounter that you had? Or did you have one drawn up? That's kind of piqued my curiosity. I have missed one of you guys. I've seen the comment and I let it go past, and now I can't find it. You know, I'm going to put this up, what Derek says. And Derek says, I think the Bigfoot creatures are real and that human beings should stay away from them. You can laugh at me if you like. Derek, brother, you'll never get laughed at here. These creatures are very real, whether you've ever seen one or not. They're dangerous, and I don't go looking for them. I don't care if I ever see one again. But I enjoy being out in the outdoors, and what has gotten me to where I look for evidence to prove that they were in the area that I'm in. When I do these hikes, I film. I'll see stuff that I know just isn't natural, or I think it's not natural, and I'll film it. And a lot of times I start hearing things. I have a lot of weird experiences, and I'll share it. I won't never tell people that it's Sasquatch or Bigfoot doing it. I let people make their own assumptions because I don't know. I have no idea what it is, and even if I seen one and I got him on film, I don't think I'd even mention that it was a Sasquatch then either. And it's just because the way a lot of the groups are that are on the internet now in regards to Sasquatch, they're going to find a reason to attack you because of something that you say or if you believe differently. And I try to avoid all of that. But I just, just what you said right there. People should not be going after them. You're absolutely right. These creatures are extremely powerful, and we're not a match for them. Their children, Mike Tyson wouldn't be a match for him. A 13-year-old Sasquatch would tear Mike Tyson in half. These things are just, they're nothing but power. They're dangerous. There's a lot of people missing from all over this country that have never been found. And, we don't know that it's not the Sasquatch, but we also don't know what's taking them. Something is taking these people. They're vanishing, whether it be our own government or whatever the thousands of excuses that we hear. Something's happening. In my personal opinion, I think that these creatures may be part of it. If not, they are connected somehow. I'm going to put this up for Crow Creek Cryptids. If you have those on your channel, email me if you don't mind, please. I put my email at the bottom of the screen, and if you'd like me to to put them on the channel and guide people over to where you have them posted at, I will absolutely do that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would love to see it. I'm one of them. Yeah, absolutely. We will definitely share them for you. Let's see, where's... I did not mean to pass. I'm passing people up, and I'm sorry. You know, Stan, this is... I'm going to put this... What Stan had said here, this is what he was talking about at the very beginning. I don't know if Stan was here at the time or not. God gave man dominion over the creatures. You know, that's one of the things Jeff Towns, and you guys see him in the chat. Jeff and I were talking, and that's one of the things Jeff had reminded me. You know, the Bible tells us that when God created all the animals on the earth, he gave us dominion over them. But we do not have dominion over Sasquatch. They do what they want. They run over us. They, you know, the only way that we would not have dominion over the Sasquatch is if God did not create them. And that's one of the things that Jeff and I have kind of fallen into believing, that God did not create them. And that's the reason we don't have dominion over them. I don't know how else to explain it. You know, we can't make them do anything. We are powerless around them, and the only opposition that they'll face in us is if we walk in there armed with the armor of light and the Holy Spirit as our forefront and our shield. Then they're not going to physically touch us. They're going to try to scare the lights out of you, and they do that to me every time. They start making noises. If I hear them and I think it's them, I freak out. I get really scared. Excuse me. I'm going to put what Kelly's saying on here. If any of you guys that are in the chat where you're talking about you have pictures and videos, if you have a channel that you're sharing this stuff and you would like me to share your channel, your information, to send some people your direction to check out what you got. Our family here on Standing Goats Rescue, and myself included, we all love to see the videos of what you guys are catching, the pictures, the videos, whatever you have. We're not all going to believe in the same thing. We're not going to all have the same beliefs in anything in life, regardless of what it is. We're all going to believe differently. But it still doesn't steer away from the fact that when you capture something you can't explain, it is fascinating. Regardless if some people may think it's a bat and a dog hybrid, and some people may think it's a kid in a Halloween costume out in the middle of the forest at 3 o'clock in the morning. But whatever they think, it's fascinating. And if you guys, if y'all reach out to me, if you'll email me and put the link to your channel in there, or the name of the channel where I can go pull the link up, I will gladly share your channel on here, because I'm sure there's probably 1,000 people at minimum that would love to check out what you have. And that would give everybody a little more something to watch and see. And, you know, it's all about just helping one another and teaching each other about these things and try to educate. If we all combine what we know and what we've learned about them into one book, it would take a lifetime to read it. Everybody contributes just a little bit, and we got it. We'll have it down. You know, this is what I was reading earlier about the little, just a little brief clip of what Kyle was saying. You know, there's another one right there. People need to leave him alone. You know, Kyle's very lucky they didn't kill him, and I believe the reason they didn't is because of who he is in Christ. They know if they were to come against him, they would have had a rough time dealing with Kyle's protector. Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Well, guys, we're going to, I will try to get our other guests to come on tomorrow. I'm going to reach out to him in the morning. He may be listening to us tonight, and I hope he is. I'm not going to mention who he is and where he's from until he's ready to do that. But he'll probably, him or Kyle, who's on the screen right now, Kyle Maynard, they're going to be our next two that are coming up. We got thrown off yesterday. Our other guest, he hurt his back again, and then we had the problem with our goat Splinter, and last night was out of the question. But they both will be coming on. You know, life is busy and it goes far past YouTube. There's so much more involved to living other than YouTube, but we're going to try to get them on. And Kyle has, what he's encountered. It's frightening. You know, it's reality of where we live and the world we live in. And it's not all black and white. You know, there's a lot of things in there that'll give you a better understanding of where the Hollywood's coming up with these ideas for these scary movies. A lot of that stuff's reality. You know, just a lot of people aren't open to it yet, but we live in a supernatural world, whether we agree with it or not. You know, it's not just all flesh and blood. We will be dealing against principalities. You know, the battle's going to be between the physical and the spiritual realm and everything in between. Yeah. Moonrider, whenever you're ready, buddy. I see your message there. Whenever you're ready, absolutely. Just you let me know, and when you feel you're ready to share, let me know. I can bring you on a show if you'd like to come on live. If you'd rather email it, and I can do it I'll do a little video narration, or we can read it on here, read it through the email. It's up to you. You get up with me whenever you're ready and let me know how you want to do it. If you'd like to come on and tell it in your own words, any of you guys, if you have encounters, if it's 5 minutes long or if it's an hour long, it doesn't matter. If you have an encounter, we'd love to have you come on and share it. You can tell it in your own words, or you can email it to me and I'll tell it for you on your behalf. It's up to you. Whatever it takes to get it off of you. Once you release it and get that out from where it's been stored inside you mentally for all these years, you'll start reclaiming your life. I know that firsthand, and I wish I would have told my encounter sooner. I wish I wouldn't have waited so long. And because of me waiting so long, I had to deal with PTSD and the medications and all the treatment over that mess, and I'm not taking any of it now. And it's all because of the good Lord and me coming forward and finally telling my story. But if you guys have anything you'd like to share, just reach out, and we'll get it up here and get that out of your mental toolbox, and we'll get it out in the public toolbox. Let them deal with it. That way you can get it off your back. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much, buddy. Yep, Splinter he was my buddy. I'm going to miss him. I already do. It's very hard when you lose an animal that you're close to. You know, I love that goat. Even as much as he tormented me, he never harmed me, never hurt nobody. I knew what to expect. Every time I went out there, he'd follow me around that yard. If I was out there for 5 hours straight, he was right there with me. And it's going to be a little different not having him around to do that no more. But God needed him elsewhere, and he's probably got another job to fulfill in another family somewhere. So I'll see him again. This life is short, and then we get to all be rejoined on the other side and see what kind of crazy stuff we get to see on that side of life.
Yeah, I did not see my buddy in the chat. I've been looking for him. I apologize if you guys think I'm ignoring you. I've been looking for him to pop up to where hopefully I could we could get him come on and at least share a couple of encounters before it got too late. But we're gonna have him on. He will come on. He told me that he'd come on, and I believe him at his word, and he will do exactly as that. It's just when we can line up the time between his schedule and mine. My schedule is crazy. It just happens. I don't have much planned. Things just happen. But as soon as we can get him on here, then I'll try to put up a banner, like when you guys got the little banner up today that I was going to be going live at whatever time it showed up on your computer. I'll try to do that with him as early as I possibly can, so that you guys, I know it's the holidays and it's a very busy time, but maybe it'll get out there early enough that you guys could stop by and at least hear some of the encounters that he has. I'm very much looking forward to hearing from him. I am going to have to jump in the shower here. Just eating me alive. This is what many birds just put up. This is part of what a lot of us that are here right now, this is what happened. You hear them or you see them off at a distance, or the culprit for whatever you've just witnessed, and it scares the life out of you, but it stirs that curiosity that you got to know more about him. You got to learn as much as you can about him. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. And whether it's a good thing or not, it's the truth. And I wish there were a way that, that's why I got the drone, and I crashed the drone. I crashed it very hard. I broke it, but I sent it in. DJI has repaired it. I actually, while I was reading the email to you guys earlier, the email popped up from them that they're shipping out the replacement. They're replacing it with a whole new one. It slammed into the concrete of our driveway and then flipped over in the dirt. And the repair bill was a few $100s, so I just used the insurance and replaced it. But as soon as the drone gets here, we're going to put it in the sky, because I can fly it a few miles in one direction and I don't have to be there. And I'm going to fly it over that property where I had my encounter. I'm going to park down the road somewhere, and we're going to put it up over the property and see if maybe we can catch one. I know the area. I know where the caves are on that property, and maybe we can get something running between the trees. I can film in 4K on that drone, 2.7K or 4K, and got a lot of different options for filming. I can get some incredibly clear footage off of it. Hopefully we can catch one of them from the sky. That'd be much safer, unless he throws a rock and knocks it out of the sky, and then I'm having to file another insurance claim on it. I hope not. Yeah, Mini Bird City Solomon walking from the bottom of his foot up to his waistline. He was too scared to look at his face. That's one of the things that we hear so often, and I know you guys have heard it on from other people discussing their encounters and what they've witnessed. They're just, the face, and the ones that I've seen, as long as they don't look at me, I'm okay. They still scare me. Don't get me wrong. I'm incredibly scared. But if they look toward me, that's it. There's something with their eyes, and it just, I can't take it. It does something to me mentally, and it's like it shuts you down. You can't think. Your brain goes into like underdrive instead of overdrive. Moonrider Fast. I just subscribed to Crow Creek Cryptids. I'm going to put this up. I'm going to go over and check out Crow Creek cryptids as well. You know, you guys in the chat, there's a lot of y'all in here that have channels and you're pushing to make your channel, to build up your channel to get to a certain number, whatever you're looking for. If you guys, if y'all email me, those of you that want me to do this, email me and put your channel link on there, then I'll put a video together, or so I'll figure out how to do it. We'll put it up here and do a shout out, and to get people to go over and check you out. I've seen the Gene Fox Green Mountain droning. I'm going to be right there with him as well. But I want to just try to help you guys. You know, we're here to boost one another up and to help us grow, help our channels grow. And if you guys are looking to build your channel up and you need some more wonderful people, I mean, this is one of the most amazing things that's ever happened to me is our channel. Our subscriber base, our family here is phenomenal. I mean, just you don't see people like this in everyday life. Not this many of them in one area. It's amazing. I was looking at Mark. Yeah, Mark, I'm fixing to shut it down for tonight, buddy, but we'll be doing it tomorrow. I hope. We should be coming on tomorrow. I'm trying to get our other guest to come on to share his encounters with us. He's got a bunch of them. You be careful, buddy. If you're driving late at night like this, Lord, be careful. If something happens, you need me, call. You got my number. And yeah, Riker, just, subscribing to each other. It does wonders. It helps a lot of people out. And if you guys, if you're looking to build up your channel and you're needing people, if you're trying to reach that 1,000 subscriber quota so that you can get your live stream activated by YouTube, email me. My email's at the bottom of the screen now. If you guys will look down below, it's in the little, whatever you call it, the ticker. And just email me what your channel link is, and I'll get something put together, and we'll get you guys channels put up here and send everybody over. We don't have to pay to subscribe to another channel. They don't get charged for us subscribing. All it does is it benefits when you subscribe to a channel, they benefit from having us. And I'm all about it. I don't know how many channels I'm subscribed to. It's a lot of them. But I'm just, I'm all about it. We're supporting one another. And before I forget, I keep forgetting. You guys see the little emblem up here on the screen? That's our rescue emblem that we use here for the rescue. We're trying to come up with a custom banner. I am not an artist. It took me a very long time, literally a very long time, to put that little banner together. And I did it on my phone because we didn't have a computer. I love the cross, the two goats, and the Standing Goats Rescue, the way it turned out with the black background. But we want to incorporate somehow, if it's just an outline, a little thin white outline of a Sasquatch somewhere in that without removing anything that's on it. If any of you guys are artistic, that you can design that, something like that, and add a whole Sasquatch or his head or just anything to where when people see it, they'll know that not only are we the Goat Rescue, but we also do the stuff with the Sasquatch and these odd caveman creatures. Then I want the logo, our banner, to kind of say it all. To see it, that we do this with the goats for Holy Spirit. We believe the Holy Spirit led us to do this. But looking at that, you'd never know that we did anything as far as the Sasquatch videos and the encounters. And I'd like to just, if I can somehow incorporate a Sasquatch into that diagram. If any of you guys are if you're artistic and you can draw or you can do computer graphic or anything, if you can come up with something like that, please reach out to me. We're trying to get something put together, and I tried it a couple years ago, and I got some drawings, and the best one that was sent to me, it was kind of vile. It had some sexual stuff in it, and that was not an option for us. But it's a shame because the guy who drew it was incredibly talented. I can't draw at all. I can't even write my name the same way twice. And that's no exaggeration. But guys, thank you all. Thank you all so much for coming. And if you want to build up your channel and you'd like some help from us, our channel's full of some of the best people you ever meet in your life. And I promise you that. Then email me your channel link. My email is standinggoatsrescue@outlook.com. It's not only at the bottom of the screen now, but it's also in the description. I put it in every video description. I got our channel link, and then like our PayPal and those things. I got them all on one page, and so when I post a video or anything, I just go to that page. I select it all, copy it, and then I paste it directly into the description. That's why it never changes. It's always the email, the PayPal, the Venmo, the Cash App. They're always in the same order. It's because I copy and paste it to save time. But email me, and we'll try to get a video together, and I'll put all of you guys your channel links up there. We'll put them in the description. However we got to do it to where people can go there, click directly on it, and jump straight over to your channel and subscribe to you to support you and back you guys up. I love you all. Thank you all so much for jumping over. I'm sorry it's kind of a deadbeat evening. My cheers just kind of left me last night. We had a very hard night, and we lost a very dear member of our family, our goat, Splinter, and then we lost little Ginger this morning, or this afternoon, when we was trying to get Splinter, return him to the clay, so to speak. And then she had a seizure, and we lost her. And it's been a very weird day. And it's just because we're getting close to fulfilling what God has for us. And when you get close to fulfilling that purpose, you can believe Satan's going to start hitting on you. He's going to do what he can to knock you down, and we're not going to allow it. Patrick, thank you so much. Moonrider and Riker and Brother Jeff and Gene Fox, AV Rico. I'm sorry, buddy. I just seen you. God bless you too, my brother. Absolutely. God bless you all. Look, you guys know that we love you. We wish you all a very glorious, a very blessed, and a very Merry Christmas. And remember, this year is going to be the most phenomenal year of your life. Don't let this craziness of politics and what we see on the news around us, don't let it affect you. This is not part of your world. Your world involves you, your direct family, and the one above who put you here. We have other purpose and has nothing to do with the chaos that they're showing us on TV. That's just to steer us in a different direction. We serve a great Lord, an awesome God, and all of our needs are fulfilled through him. So we just walk away from all that other stuff. But thank y'all so much. Brother Keith, thank you for jumping over. And Bama Bigfoot, Cryptidville, thank you all. Thank you for the prayers. We love all of you guys just wholeheartedly. God bless you all. And thank you for the support and just everything you guys have done. I don't know how to get through days like today without you guys being here. We don't have no one else to fall on. My brother Jeff, he lives in Georgia, and he's a ride away. But, I talk to him every day. He checks on me all the time. But outside of him and Chris, who I hunt with, we're very limited. And my family is right here, what you're seeing in the chat. You guys are it. And thank you. We owe the world to you. Thank you all. And if there's anything that I can do for you or anything that I can help you with, you guys reach out to me. I won't post my number on here for obvious reasons. I kind of learned that in the very beginning, and you don't put your phone number on YouTube. I wasn't very up to par on that, but I learned it the hard way. Mark Underdown, Merry Christmas, buddy, from Melbourne, Australia. He says, sorry, missed your live stream. Just jumped online now. It is no big deal, buddy. We're just doing a little chat. I shared a little bit about we got a guy going to be sharing his encounters with us, hopefully between Friday and New Year's Eve. And then we have another fella. They're both part of our family here on YouTube. I'm hoping I get him on tomorrow. He's going to be sharing a bunch of encounters that was mailed to him that he's received from other people. We got a lot coming. It's just a matter of getting everything lined up to where we can make it happen. But it's going to happen. You guys, thank you for showing up. Sorry that it's went on so long. You know, just when you're in good company, you don't want to walk away. God bless you all. Y'all have an amazing Christmas. And if any of you need to reach me for any reason at all, my email, the standinggoatsrescue@outlook.com. That is the email that I use. I use it regularly. I check it daily. If I'm on the tractor or if I'm in the woods, on the tractor, I don't hear it. But when I'm in the woods hunting, I silence my phone. The deer ain't real keen if your phone starts ringing when they come in, but I do check them. I check them when I come out at lunch, and then I check them in the afternoon, and I do check them. There's not a day that comes by that I don't. But if there's anything that I can do for you, don't hesitate. Reach out to me. I'll do whatever I can. Thank you so much. Greg Self, thank you, buddy, and Patrick, and Rafaela. Martha, thank you so much for coming over, and Dee. I think Dee may have already went out, and there's Nana Anna and Mike Stone. God bless you, buddy. Mike, thank you so much. Brother Jeff, thank you. Thank all of you guys, the moderators, my family. You know, you guys are it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And I will definitely see you between now and Christmas. Hopefully tomorrow sometime. Maybe we'll get our other brother to come on and share some of his encounters with us. But if not, I will see you before Christmas Eve. I'm not going to bother you once the sun goes down. I know that's all family time. But God bless you. I love you. Y'all have a wonderful night. And until next time, y'all be safe. And we'll see you